It's easy to clean this gun, easy to maintain it, it's fun to shoot, it's accurate as anything, and it is reliable. In a true end of the world scenario where crap really has hit the fan, you want a pistol that you can rely on, that will be trusty, and you can have tons of ammo for. And that's why today we're talking about why I think the Ruger Mark IV Target is the perfect survival pistol. How's it going, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. My name is Chad and this is the Hopeful Homestead. In this series of videos, I like to sit out here with a cup of coffee and talk to all the husbands and dads out there about just the difficult things in life as we're just trying to make it through. And today, as we do many times on this channel, we're talking about firearms again. And diving into a subject that matters to a lot of us, end of the world scenarios, situations where supply chains break down, you got to be able to live off your land or, be able to hunt and gather for your family, defend your family. And in a situation where that's happening long term, this is where some debate comes up that I think is important to talk about. Sit down this cup of coffee and bring the star of the show up. My Ruger Mark IV Target. I've got it in this nice little leather holster that has a little extra spot here for a spare mag that I always keep. So you've got a spare mag right here with the pistol. It's got a little belt loop so you can wear that on your hip nicely. It's got a retention method right here with a little strap, and it draws from that very nicely. And yes, this is completely empty, no rounds in there, no rounds in the chamber. All right, so I'm gonna break down why I think this is the perfect survival pistol. But first, let's just take a look at this gun. It is a beautiful firearm. All wood and steel. And if you know anything about my channel, you know I'm obsessed with all wood and steel guns because I think they are much more reliable, they'll last longer, that you can count on them being with you for decades to come. It's gonna be around because it's not gonna break. It's solidly built. And the Ruger Mark IV as a platform is incredibly reliable and famous for a reason. It's easy to take apart. It's a simple bolt that you can take out of this thing and polish up and clean up nicely. Being a semi-auto pistol, it's easy to clean, which that's not necessarily true about a lot of semi-auto pistols out there. They're difficult to take apart and a hassle to clean. This is very easy. I'll show you right now. Pop out the mag. You see this little button right here? You push on that and that breaks open the gun. You take the whole barrel off. You can clean all the parts in here very easily. It just rests on this little rod here. You feed it down onto that when you put the gun back together, but you can clean all the inside internal parts of that. The trigger components, everything are all accessible to you right there. And then from here, you can see the bolt actually just comes straight out and you can clean the entire bolt, spring, you can clean the barrel out. It's incredibly easy to clean and maintain this gun and to re-lubricate it. You set this little groove on this little rod here and you feed that in there and boom, gun's ready to fire. And like I said many times already, it's an unloaded gun, so don't freak out. But this is chambered in .22 long rifle, and that is part of my argument for why this is the best survival pistol. Being that it's .22 long rifle, you're able to stockpile ammo unlike any other ammo out there. And anybody who tries to argue to me that any other round is a true better choice for being a survival round for long-term survival scenarios, I have a hard time taking it serious because no matter what, I've talked about in other videos, I love 45 Colt. That's most of the guns I have are 45 Colt because of the sound levels, the effectiveness levels of it, the fact you can load it up to be heavy or really light. It's a very versatile round that I love for being what I use out here on the homestead to protect my family and defend against wildlife. But 45 Colt, you're not stocking up on that. And you might be lucky. It's expensive to stock up on that. It's about $1 or more per round, and that's for the cheap little cowboy action load stuff. You're talking, over $2 a round for something like heavy outdoorsman, ammunition from buffalo boar. So you're not stockpiling 45 Colt as easily unless you're completely loaded rich. And unless you have a ton of storage space, because a 45 Colt round, a box of 50 of those is a lot bigger. A box of 50 almost takes up as much space as this gun on a shelf, whereas a box of 400 and something rounds of .22 long rifle is maybe a quarter of this in size. And so you could stockpile a lot of .22 long rifle ammunition for way cheaper, because .22 long rifle, you can get a box of 400 rounds for like 10 bucks. It's incredibly versatile in that you can pile up, my goal is to stockpile 1 million rounds of .22 long rifle ammunition over the span of the next few years, which won't cost that much to do. In reality, I should be able to do it within 5 years without spending too much money. And then 1 million rounds of ammunition, that's I'm pretty much never running out, even if I'm, you know, that gives you the ability to, in a long-term scenario for survival, you're able to never run out for purposes you actually have to use it for defense and for hunting and whatnot. Also allows you to occasionally continue to target practice so that, you know, years and years go by, you're still staying proficient with your firearms that you're depending on, which that can't be said about many other kinds of ammunition, because if you target practice with it long-term, when you're not able to buy any more or acquire any more of it, that's wasting ammunition that, you know, thinking, and I'm not talking about a scenario where crap at the fan and, you know, society falls apart for a year or two. I'm talking about where decades, where everything completely falls apart, a true end of the world scenario where you have to be able to defend your family and provide for your family with hunting, and 22 long rifle is going to be the way to go for that. And so your pistol, that should be your mainstay on your hip in an end of the world scenario. Once you've run out of all your other ammunition, you've run out once I've run out of all my 45 Colt, I've run out of 223, run out of 9mm, you know, anything else that's out there, you're going to run out of that eventually because of the cost. You're not going to be able to stockpile it, and it takes up too much room to store. You're going to run out eventually. And so you need to have a quality, good, reliable, accurate 22 long rifle semi-auto pistol. And that's why I think the Ruger Mark IV is perfect for that. It is all wood and steel. It's got a big grip that is contoured for your fingers for good ergonomics. And it's got big pronounced target sights on the front and back. The rear ones are adjustable. You know, you could mount a scope on this if you wanted to. There's mounting points for a scope. It's incredibly, I can hit a target at 100+ yards with this pretty regularly just with these iron target sights on this thing, which is pretty awesome. This does have mags with 10 round capacity, so that's reasonable for a 22 long rifle. And it's just, as you can see, a thick grip, very, very thick grip that just ergonomically fits well. And the way that it contours back here, much like a 1911 does, it fits your hand well. It has, being that this is all wood and steel and it's 22 long rifle, this has got almost no recoil. The only motion you really feel is the bolt moving, actuating as you're firing the gun. So you're able to keep your sight radius up and clear and your sight picture very good to where you can continue to fire all 10 rounds off and keep every round on target. This pistol, specifically this one, the target, there's a lot of Ruger Mark IVs out there. You can get different kinds that have smaller grips, you know, different kind of sights. I like this one because it's all wood and steel. There's no plastic. It's got nice big sights on it that are iron sights that you don't have to worry about and will always be trusty and available to you. It's easy to clean this gun, easy to maintain it. It's fun to shoot. It's accurate as anything, and it is reliable. It's a proven platform for a reason. The Ruger Mark IV is a proven gun that you can count on, especially this target version with this additional grip is just an awesome gun to be. This is absolutely what I would be wearing on my hip in a long-term crap at the fan scenario with this little holster, and have several mags on me, and then have a couple of rifles with me that are 22 long rifle as well. And to close the video out, I will just go ahead and show you a nice up close and personal look at this gun. You can see just how beautiful it is. You can see that bolt, you see the rear sights right there. You can see where the mounting points are for a scope. Nice, heavy, thick barrel. You know, this thing is not gonna be, even the trigger on this thing is metal. It's not plastic. You got the nice thick wood grips that are beautiful, might I, you know, it's got the Ruger logo in there, nice contouring throughout it. Got the Ruger logo on the bottom of the mag here. I think this right here is about the only plastic part. The bottom plate of the mag is plastic. Everything else, you get this nice thick metal frame. You know, this thing handles recoil, you know, what little recoil 22 long rifle has in the first place, handles it beautifully. It's just a great gun, a great pistol. But all right, let's grab this cup of coffee and bid you adieu. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it if you watched all the way through. Again, my name is Chad, and this is the Hopeful Homestead. If you feel like sticking around, there's a video right here all about my cowboy plinker guns that are all 22 long rifle. So go check that video out. I'll see you over there in that one, and thanks for watching, guys.